Hey everybody, and welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm drawing chaos and things are looking up. Now, in the last episode, we started working on the space elevator. This is a grand room for the space elevators that I can come into and load up all the space elevator parts. Now, we're going to test this out when we complete phase 3 to see if this actually looks really cool down here or if I'm going to be missing out on a couple things. That being said, this will lead into our storage room. Well, actually first our portal room once we get the portals up and running. And those portal room will lead into the storage room, which technically we don't need a storage room. Because with the dimensional depot, it's kind of a little bit useless at the moment. But one thing that I did know for building major projects is you only have so many items. So for example, like 250 computers. If you're building like a ton of things that need computers, this is going to go pretty quickly. So having an extra storage container for like say computers to go in there would be nice. So even if you use them, you can upload them pretty quickly. That being said, some of the base items we're going to need a ton of. But the biggest one of all is always going to be concrete. This is 2,500. I have this thing upgraded so massive, and it uploads at 240, I think. But yeah, even at 240, we're gonna go through concrete like a boss. Now, someone also did point out that I had these lovely little pipes over here, and well, they don't look good. Mostly because the thing on the bottom does not connect to anything, and that's kind of lame. So what I'm thinking is if I go into logistics, I could change these to like a clean looking pipe. Then what I can do is I can take this G, and there we go, delete that. Then I can go in and like say maybe Caterium, G again. And then I can paint these and change it up just a little bit. So does that look better than that? Actually, if I'm going to do it that way, I'm going to probably have to get rid of like that. And then connect these to the thing behind it. So something like that. And then we'll put this back over here. Delete you. And there we go. Something like that. So does that... Actually, yeah, I gotta say that. Yeah, that does look better. So I'm gonna have to upgrade these. But speaking of upgrade, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like on this video if you're enjoying the fun. Also, we made this hypertube room as well as a mainframe. It's the best way I can put this for all my wonderful power. So I can set up each individual sections of the base for power and then be able to flip it on and off in case, you know, the worst should happen. Maybe I want to set all these lights to a power source. Who knows? But on today's video, we need to get into building. I want to start processing base items into regular items. We got to get into the actual production. And first things first is I'm going to need a floor for that. Now, regular foundations I want to use. Not that one. There we go. We're going to switch over to, there we go, solid concrete. And we're going to zoop this across. There we go. And I have infinite zoop on, which you can unlock in the MAM for however you want. But take a look at this. Yep, that was a lot of concrete, but boy, does it look kind of cool. So I want to start building, but I want to leave myself a floor for logistics. So what I'm going to do is, let's turn this to vertical, put that too high, and then back to zoop, and we're going to click this one here. And then we're going to build you out, and oh yeah, I can only go so far. See? I'm already down to about 500 concrete, and I have 2 of these things filling up. So yeah, I'm thinking about putting it on this floor going across, and I want to start building out one of our first main items. So out of the 3 main things, which ingot recipe should we choose? We have the original recipe, the iron ingots from iron ore, 30 per 30, not bad. We have the foundry, which has 2 actual recipes. We have iron ore and copper ore to make iron ingots. And then we have iron ore and limestone to make iron ingots. And then we have the final recipe, which is a pure one. I don't want to deal with water, even though it's not too bad. It does 7 to 13. It almost doubles it. That's not bad. But then you have to deal with water, then you have to deal with pumps, and you're already dealing with extra power, and this thing's massive. So to make a massive one, you're going to need a massive amount of space, which we have that. This one is not good enough. This is the basic recipe, a 1-to-1 ratio. Screw that noise. Now the limestone one doubles it. We're going to double it, and then we just need limestone, but we need a lot of limestone. And this area, as cool as it is with items, does not have that much limestone in it. Although if I get trains up and running, that would be great. Now this one, on the other hand, this one almost doubles it. Actually similar to that one. And all I need is some copper. And not a lot of copper either. So I figure this will be our perfect setup. But to do this, we're going to need something special. A Blueprint Designer Mark II. Because I don't want to build a million foundaries over and over again. Now we need a pattern. And boy, do I miss the white lines, which they said are going to be coming back eventually, but, you know, I want them now. All right, build you, build you, build you. And then we're going to put you on this side. There we go. Build you, and build you. There we go. So this can fit 8 wonderful foundries in it. Not too bad. And then if we set the recipe, that will be this one right here. I could just copy it and then Control V. I don't even have to look into there. Bam. I can make a bunch of them. Perfect. Now the only other thing is logistics. Well, we could be going straight through the floor, but what about this? When it comes to foundries, you can do actually something really neat. So if we put this in the center, this is right where the exit's at. And then this one is right here where the exit's at. If I get out of the way. Right? Yeah. Okay. Then all I have to do is switch over to a splitter. Splitter, splitter, splitter. Splitter, splitter, splitter. Boom. So there we go. Now what do? All I have to do is come over here, grab a Mark 1. Wait, right? 40? Yeah, we could do a Mark 1. So if I do it on this side right here and aim it across, this one will just aim right into there. And then if I take this one, turn it sideways and go up 1, 2, bam, that will aim into there. Then all I gotta do is take a Mark 1 belt. We'll do the top one first. And then we'll do this one. And it's nice, clean, and compact, easy to make. No fancy belts. You don't even have to put straight mode on. And then what I can do is I can get rid of this middle one, get rid of this one, and bam. I can have all the exit ones coming through here, and all the entrance ones coming from the other side, or however you want to think about it. Although it is making 75 per minute. Wait, what would be 75 times 8? 75 times 8, 600. I don't have a 600 belts. But what I could do, you know what? Let's do this. I could do this one right here and then delete this one and put this one right here. There we go. And now it'll be 300 on one side and 300 on the other. And I do not like these floating. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab a small frame pillar, put that at the bottom, maybe this one right here. Oh, there we go. So now it looks like it's holding up, and because it's a frame one, it going in the center doesn't look too bad. I mean, you could probably switch these up for a different type of one if you want, but that's up to you. Wait a minute, hold on. If I grab my power... Ooh, wait. Oh, I can grab the other side too. And then what I'll do, I'll put you through here. I think it's this side. There we go. I can have my power coming right through the center. Oh, that'll be so good. Okay. I'm liking this. So yeah, and then of course we're gonna have to give it a little pizzazz. We'll give you maybe chrome. Or should we do unpainted? I think chrome would probably be better. There we go. Yeah, and then this one will be the set of iron, and then we'll build that over here going across. I wonder about how many. All right, a sea of foundries. Not too bad. So I have each one of these all grouped together. So that is a 6 groups of 8 or whatever you want to call it. And there was a special reason for this. Check this out. So this takes 40 iron ore and 10 copper ore to make 75 iron ingots. Not bad. Well, I have 8 foundries, and each of those foundries are going to be in groups of 6. So that's 48 foundries total. Okay, my fastest belt is this one right here, a Mark IV. According to the logistics, transportates up to 480 resources. Well, this is 10. So if the belt can make 40, if there's 48 foundries times 10, that's 480. Which means for every group of 10, it tells me how many items I need. So this gives 1 line of copper ore and 4 lines of iron ore. So it just works out so perfectly. I love it. And then I started belting it up and I started bringing it over. And that's when it just looked so beautiful. Okay, so 300. So I have 1, 2, 3 times 4. So I have 12 times 300. 3,600 ingots. Oh, is that enough? I don't know. But it's definitely a lot. But now that we have iron ore, it's time to switch over to copper. And I might have gotten a little ahead of myself, but I was looking into the copper stuff. So let's take this one. And we're going to do the same thing we did over there. Production and refinery. That's right. Okay. So you have the base one. That is copper ore into copper ingots. You have this one, which is the pure one. 6 copper ore makes 15 ingots. That's almost 3 times as much. That's crazy. But it's definitely more than double. Then you have this recipe. You have a tempered copper ingot, which is 5 copper ore, 8 petroleum coke to make 12. So it is definitely more than double, similar to the other one, but you need petroleum coke. And to get petroleum coke, you need heavy oil residue. And to get heavy oil residue, you need oil. Now that's not technically bad, but it also is more coke than copper. I don't like that. But if I look at the other recipe, it's evenly copper and iron to make copper ingots. It doubles it. Not as efficiently as the other ones, but there's so much iron ore and so much copper ore that you could just grab more iron ore and copper ore and bam, you're all set. So this one's perfect. I like this one, and to make 100 per minute is also amazing, because if I split this up, instead of being 300 and 300, I now have 400 and 400. So the next step, I need to start building out copper. And if I want to, I can mirror this on the other side. So I go into my blueprint, I pull this out, and where are we? Okay, so right here, H to hold. Now what I did on this side is I gave it 1 foundation worth of space for logistics. I think I can do the same on here. And then H to hold. And then I have to move this over a smidgen right there. There we go. And I'm already out of modular frames. Now, this was the whole thing that I was talking about earlier. So if I go in modular frames, most of the modular frame recipes take a lot of stuff, but they produce very little. 2 per minute, 5 per minute, 3 per minute. Yeah, so they don't produce a lot, and when you're going to use large amounts of them, you want a storage bin. So this is why a storage bin would be perfect for one of these items, because yeah, I'm going to be using a lot one specific time, and our dimensional depot, well, it only carries 250, and when I'm using 80 at a time, it tends to add up. So let me build this out, and then we'll work on item number 3. All right, iron ingots, check. Copper ingots, check. Now, what's next? Well, I'm thinking we go steel. So here's the thing. Steel only has certain recipes, but each recipe is in the foundry. The regular steel one, which is iron ore and coal, will make us steel ingots at a 1-to-1 ratio. But here's the thing. We're going to have to get coal in. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad when you look at the second recipe, which makes iron ingots and coal into steel ingots. Because then if I produce the iron ingots first, then put them into steel ingots, that'll get us actually more production. Because it'll give us an extra, extra 50%? So that's great. But there's also one more recipe. Take a look at some coke steel ingots. So if I take 15 iron ore and 15 Coca-Cola, I can make 20 steel ingots. That's crazy. Now, granted, it's not as efficient as the other one, but it does make me a lot of steel ingots at once, so that's pretty cool. And it uses petroleum coke. Now, to get petroleum coke, you need heavy oil residue. Now, to get heavy oil residue, you need oil. But we're going to be using refineries to make oil into... You know what? Let us build a production for refinery, and I can show you real quick. If I make this plastic recipe, it's crude oil to make me plastic and give me heavy oil residue. That heavy oil residue can be turned into petroleum coke. So I can actually use the petroleum coke to make steel. So let's start switching these recipes over and then start redoing this. Now there's also one more recipe that I want to look into, and that is caterium ingots. Now normally a lot of people use the smelting ingot right off the bat, which is kind of crap. You basically only get 1/3 into ingots. It's not efficient at all. Another group of players will use the pure caterium ingot one, which will give you 50% caterium ingots for all the caterium ore, as long as you have plenty of water. You have a giant refinery and ton of space. That's also well and good. But in 1.0, they added a new recipe, which is tempered caterium ingot. So for every 6, you get 3, so you still got the 50%, but it takes a small amount of petroleum coke. So Petro Coca-Cola is, it's really going to come in handy for this one. Iron, steel, copper, caterium. Long ago, these 4 ingots lived in harmony until the caterium attacked. Oh wait, was caterium? No, caterium was the air one then. Is it copper? Or no, that would have been steel then. Well, whatever. Doesn't matter. Avatar reference aside, I have all 4 elements being made. And they're all being made in foundries, which is really cool. There's only one small little snag, and that's it taking forever. H to hold, make sure this is in the right spot. There we go. It's taking forever to get me some modular frames. Yeah, not very fun, but you know, what are you gonna do? You just gotta wait patiently and hope for the best. So while I'm waiting for modular frames to produce, it's time for me to switch over to refineries. All right, so I'm going to come over to the blueprint for the Mark II, clear the blueprint designer, and then we can start loading in refineries. And we can build about, I think it's 4 of them. Let's see, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So we can build 4 of them in here, which is not too bad. All right, so here's the thing. If we set up the recipes in here, like let's say we use this regular crude oil recipe, crude oil into plastic and heavy oil residue as a byproduct. The heavy oil residue only produces at 10 per minute. And if we go over to this one, you can see that this needs 40 heavy oil residue to produce 120 petroleum coke per minute. Well, that means that a group of 4 like so is going to only make 1 refinery, making petroleum coke. Now, granted, that doesn't seem too bad because that's 120. And if we have 1/600th line of crude oil, we could group 5 of these together, which means there'd be 5 refineries. Not bad, right? Because 5 times 120, that would be 600. Okay, but time to do some math. I have changed this recipe to be 60. Now there's a reason for that, because of course we're going to have 60 times 48. So I'm going to need 2,880 petroleum coke per minute just for this one side. Then we go over to here, and this little feller needs 15. So 15 times 48, or what we could do is add 15 to 60. So 60 plus 15 is 75, which means I need 3,600, which if I take 3,600, divide that by 120, that is 30 refineries. And one line makes 5. I would need like 6 lines of that. Wait, is it 6? So I'd make 5 refineries. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, ridiculous. Totally not going to do that. But there is another option. There is another way. What we can do is we can switch this recipe to be something like alternate recipe heavy oil residue. So this makes 30 crude oil into 40 heavy oil residue and gives us a byproduct of polymer resin. So this takes 40. So for every one of these, I get one of these. So if I have a group of 4, the same amount of oil, I could have 4 of them. So if one line is 20, I could literally make 20 of them. That's most of them with just one line. Perfect. Amazing. Wonderful. But what about plastic and rubber, I hear you say? What about it? Well, funny you should mention that. I have a residual plastic recipe. So it takes 60 polymer resin to make 20 plastic. Not a very good recipe, because I also need some water. But when you're mixing it with the other ones, oh, I pressed the wrong button. But when you mix it with the other ones, I could have basically 1, 2, 3, very 3. I have a 4th refinery that is making me residual plastic, which is also not too bad. So sure, it's not as much plastic, but there's another way around that. So what I'll do is I'll have one recipe making me heavy oil residue in plastic, and then another recipe that's making me heavy oil residue in polymer resin, and then another recipe that is making me polymer resin into plastic, and then another recipe making heavy oil residue into petroleum coke. So if I can figure out a way to make these 4 recipes work, I'm Gucci. Gucci, that's it. And after several hours and a lot of energy drinks later, I did it. I did it. I'm so proud. So check it out. We got heavy oil residue, and that heavy oil residue goes right into a refinery, and that refinery right over here, well, that's making me some petroleum coke. So yeah, I have 20 to 20 and another 20 to 20. Is that a little too much? Probably. But I will definitely have enough petroleum coke for days. And then I have sort of a little half and half project going over here. Half of it is making rubber. The other half over there is making plastic. And then the ones that are offset, well, those are making residual rubber and residual plastic. So hooray! Which means we have plastic and rubber set, we have petroleum coke all set up, but we need a couple other things. See, with all the petroleum coke all done, with all the plastic and rubber all done, I want my ingots up and running. But to do that, I need ore. I need all the ore. So, how much ore do I need? Well, it's very simple, really. This one here needs 5 lines of copper and 5 lines of iron. That needs 1 line of copper and, was it 4? I think it's 4. 4 lines of iron. Yay. This one needs 4 lines, or is it 5? 4.5, so, okay. We'll round it up. We'll say 5 lines of caterium. And then this one also needs iron. It needs 6. Oh, Oh my god. So we're gonna need about 15 iron, about 5, what do you call it, copper, and then another 5 of what's his nuts over here, Caterium. What's the best way to do that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's go over here, put this to Zoop, because I have my infinite Zoop. Yeah. Oh. I keep forgetting how it builds. Okay, so we go to transportation. We're gonna go to train station. I want to make some trains. Oh, I can't wait for this. All right, so here's what I am thinking. Fluid? No, freight platform. Freight platform. Another freight platform. And then you'll go over to here. Freight car. Freight car. Almost another freight car. So yeah, I'll have 1 locomotive with 3 freight cars for every 1 station with 3 freight platforms. And it'll be perfect. Why will it be perfect? I don't know. But each one of these will allow me to have 1 full 480 line of, well, basically ore. And when I build all this out, I can actually get this train line to go all around the world. So we must start the grid expansion. But before that, I must build myself a train station room. Now, I'm not going to be designing anything crazy. I just want to get enough train stations here and make it fit the nice OCD perspective. So, time for a nice time skip, and we'll go. Skip. Boom. Either I timed that perfectly and it looked great in the edit, or it sucked and who cares? But say hello to 10 train stations, giving us 30 freight platforms. Yep, that's right. We can bring in 30 different items. So what's the next issue? Well, now we have to have our train lines actually going somewhere. Now, sure, they're all on one train line. Oh, that's right. I didn't build out any of the path signal or block signals just yet. Yeah, so it thinks everything's on the same line. And building one of these kind of does jack diddly squat until I have everything up and running. So what we're going to worry about first is we're going to worry about railways. Now to do this, let's go for, here we go. We'll go for the middle section right here. H to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Zoop, and let's zoop you down 20. Okay, so let's imagine let's do right here and right here. Okay, then we'll gather up 10, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. We'll go to the 11th one and we'll build that right here. Then I can go into the transportation, grab myself a railway, aim right here for the railway, and go over and put the other one right there. And you're probably asking yourself, why is he doing 10? What would be the benefit of this? And it's very simple. So let me put this one right here, and then this is a railway. So if we look at this, it can literally almost go 11 foundations, but it can't. It just can't. Oh, wait, didn't I have it the halfway mark? So, yeah. So, wait, there's 11 foundations. So, it can almost go 11 and a half foundations. Okay, which is great. But if we put it back to 10, what I can do is I can have 5 and 5. I can make a blueprint that can be this middle part right here. And I can put 2 of them in there, and bam. Then I can make this part that holds the middle connection of all the railways. And I can make that look fancy as well. And then once I have everything, I can just start connecting them to my train section. And there we go. I could have something like that. But I kind of want to do something special. Because we're in 1.0 and I'm really going to go into train networks, I'm going to do something that I saw Mr. Bits do. And I'm going to be extending out my trains to be just a bit wider. And there's a special reason for this, because now what I can do is I can make 2 railways on each side. So my first step is I'm going to have to make a blueprint for this that is going to be 5 foundations wide and 1 foundation wide and however tall I want it. And that's going to be my snapping point. And then I'm going to have to make a second one that is going to be 5 wide going this way. That is basically going to be the middle piece. So I could put 2 of those back to back. Oh my God. I just lost my voice. I'm sorry. I'm gone. I'm dead. Oh, and then the third thing I'm going to need is a roundabout piece. The great expansion has commenced. I have an idea. So let me show you basically what I got going on. So we'll grab this piece right here. So this is my 5-meter piece that I can just kind of, oh yeah, blueprint, aim, H to hold, and I have to bring it back 2 to snap it into place. And then I go here and I build another one. And then I go here, I hold R, not R, E, and I get the 1 meter center. And then I snap that one in, and then we're gonna go back to this one. Rinse and repeat until crazy. And then I switch over to the 1 meter power tower. Now, because the power tower is bigger than 1 meter foundation, it kind of sticks out. So I have to push H to hold and then nudge it into place, thus giving me a huge place to build all my beautiful train lines. And then I can grab the train line, come over here where I have these lights, and then I'm going to bring those out, jump over to the next one, and voila, that is how I'm going to do it. Yeah, but anyway, now that the train line is starting to take shape, I have to work on roundabouts. All right, this is a fairly good design, I think. I went with something. It definitely connects one to the other. I hooked up a little bit of power to test it out. Everything seems to be going good. Now I just have to start the great expansion. The only other problem I'm having is connecting the roundabouts together to one of these. So this section right here, or that section right there, ends in with these little, like, what do they call it? Painted beams. And I'm like, do I bring out the stuff over here? Do I leave this hanging over the edge? I kind of leaning towards having these just, like, hanging off like that. There's nothing I can really do to it. It's kind of there. But what do I do about the Z fighting or the Y fighting that's over here? So the only other thing I can think of was just kind of like capping these off at the edge and then just leaving them like that. Yeah. Now I just got to do one more tiny little thing. And that means for each one of these bottoms, I need something that'll bring it down to the ground. Okay, after several harrowing adventures later, I think I got something. So I've started organizing a little bit of my stuff, whatnot. But here, check this out. What do you think of this? So for this one, the 1 meter one, I messed that up completely. Why did I mess that up? Oh, I forgot to hit blueprint. So there we go. So all I'll just have to do, it comes straight down like that and pretty good. Then when it comes to something like this one, I feel like it's not thick enough. So I decided on... So I decided on, which one is it? Tower. This one. Something like this. That way it's a bit thicker and it really showcases and holds everything up. And then I just switch back and forth as I place them down. So after several hours of building, I was able to expand my wonderful train line all the way out to chain lightning. Whee! I wonder if this will catch or if it'll kill me. Haha! Yeah! Come on, there we go. So yeah, I've expanded out quite a long time, but unfortunately, that's gonna have to be it. Oh, and then of course, I learned a very, very sad / valuable lesson. So, see this little section right here? Why would I possibly have this going into here? Well, turns out that this is sticking out. And I don't think I can blow this up. Wait, can I blow this up? Hold on. Noblisk? So there's something weird with the Noblisk and the Noblisk detonator. See, if I go to here, I have explosives on. And if I shoot a tree or something like that, tree goes bye-bye. But if I shoot this, it doesn't go away. But the small ones do. But Nobelisks don't technically work like that. Supposedly you can destroy some of these. You gotta be kidding me. Why didn't I try that first? Oh my god. All right, well, let's get out of there real quick. Well, I guess I could fix this one now. But I was gonna put this over here so it got out of the way so it didn't go in there because 5 lines through this little corridor kind of here sucks. But granted, I'm gonna still have to do that because unfortunately I can't destroy that. Yeah, this little guy right here, I can't destroy this. Because if this freaking worked, I am done. I give up. Bruh. Alright, let's try this again. Yay, I can aim. See? Can't destroy it. So yeah, this one's gonna have to kind of go in together and break apart later on. Because the only other option is to kind of rotate it a bit. But I don't think that'll work either. Or would it? Dang it, now you got me second guessing myself on everything. Damn you, build. I need some rest and recuperation while, you know, doing this because it's been a huge pain in the butt. So, granted, if you like what you see, don't forget to give the video a like. That's gonna be it. And we will continue this on the next episode. And then try to figure out how we're gonna do like a single train going off into here or something like that. I don't know. Should be fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good one. Wait, can I slide in between here? Oh, that is so trash.